Alright, so today we are doing the Kessler Peak Trail. Here we are at Cardiff Fork parking lot, busy as usual. And it's a Thursday around 1 p.m. Here's a better view of it. So now we are approaching the hiking access. There's also a road, and you can just drive up a little bit further, about a mile, or you can take the trail. And all this bridge is brand new, and they've done some work on the river too. So here we go on the bridge. And here we go just further on to the trail, and it was really pretty dead. I think because most people are just driving the extra mile or so. There's a lot of raspberries growing, and a lot of them were ready to eat, and they're delicious. Another perk of just taking the trail instead of driving. Delicious. And here's a lot of wood that the Forest Service has cut, I would assume for fire mitigation. Maybe beetle kill, maybe a combo. And here we are at the upper parking lot. You can see one of the trail is blocked off for some reason. So there's only one route that most people are taking, and most people are going to Donut Falls, not the peak. So no dogs. And here we go, getting closer to the gate. And we're starting up the road. Then here is the trail for the actual peak up this road. There's not any signs for it. And the trail starts off super steep, but it is shaded, which is awesome. But again, it's super steep. No stopping. And there we are at the false summit. And looking into Cardiff Fork, where we will be coming out of. And again, just up and up. You can see down into the canyon. And you can see I was just sweating like a dog on this trail. It's just steep. Some ridges behind me. Some cool views of Salt Lake and Big Cottonwood, and we're almost to the top now. You can see a lot of people, probably miners or something, put a lot of these structures everywhere. Not sure how old they are, but they look pretty old to me, and these are just all along the trail. And now we are at the fall summit. There's Kessler Peak right there. There's Cardiff Fork. And here we are on the very top of the fall summit. So this is what people initially see when they look at the summit, and they think this is the peak, but it's actually the false peak. There's a good view of the city. And here we are getting to the top of the true summit. And it's very hot and it's very steep still. Almost to the top here. And here we are at the very top of Kessler, looking into the big bowl there. There's no one on this trail, so I had the whole peak to myself, which was awesome. You can see the false peak over there. And then it's a nice peak to see all the rest of the ridges. You can also see Antelope Island, the Great Salt Lake. And it's a nice peak just kind of in the middle of everything. That's where we will be coming out of. because we were doing the full loop. And there's a little chipmunk having a snack. And so to get to the other side, you're gonna have to go down a chute, because that's what is in the way if you try to go ridge to ridge. You can try it, but I would not. So just go west, down, and then around. And then it'll loop back up and you'll be on the ridge again. And there's Carbonate Peak. We're getting closer to the top of Carbonate Peak. And here we are on top of Carbonate Peak, looking into the other valleys. Another shot. Here's a good view of Kessler from Carbonate Peak. It's got a good amount of prominence, and then that's what we're going to go back into. So now we're going to go back down the other way, and this route is a lot more overgrown because it just doesn't get as much use. You can see a lot of the remnants of the old mining structures up here. Just kind of trashy. Whatever. So yeah, here's the start of it getting really overgrown, but it gets worse. Now we're going to go into the forest where it gets very overgrown. There's some old remnants of the mining. That's where we're going down. There's another little remnant there, crossing right on the trail. And yeah, it's really overgrown. Here's a bit of a stream. You can see how red it is because all the pollutants they left from mining. And now we're just getting closer to the trailhead. There's a good view of the river. Here's the sign. And yeah, I saw only a handful of people coming back, which is kind of surprising because this is a very popular trail. We are on the boardwalk again, and then here's me back at the car. A lot of photography going on right now. Alright, so I used 3 criteria when rating hikes: solitude, scenery, and difficulty. Solitude is how many people are hiking on a trail with you. Scenery are the good views, and difficulty is how hard the hike is. So for solitude, I gave it a 4 because this is a super popular trailhead. A ton of people use it. You probably won't see many people on the Kessler Peak, but just because the rest of it's so busy, I'd give it a 4. And then scenery is an 8. There's a lot of good views on top, and then you got a nice forest setting, but besides that, there's not a ton of like super unique features, so a solid 8. And then difficulty is an 8.5, just because it's so steep getting up, and then also traversing the ridge can be a little difficult, and then finding your own trail if you do the whole loop is a little tricky too. So 8.5. So if you like this video, clap your hands together and have a nice day.